Hello my friends, welcome back. In this lesson today we are learning how to tune a violin, and I am going to use as an example one of my pupils' violins which is terribly out of tune. Now in order to learn to tune we need to know the names of the strings first, and if you have a look at it in this way, your string that's furthest to your left is called G, then you get the D string, then the A string, and then the E string. So it's G, D, A and E. And violinists always start by tuning the A string. Now when you tune, you can use a tuning fork, and I'm going to demonstrate how to tune using the tuning fork, but you can use a tuning app on your phone. I've made some other tuning videos that you can watch, and you can access them right here in the top right hand corner of your screen, or you can use an electronic tuning device, just whatever takes your fancy. So let me hear what an A sounds like first. I'm putting the tuning fork on the bridge so that I can amplify the sound. You can also put it on your cheekbone, and you can hear it very clearly what that A is like. We have to think now how the tuning of a violin works. You've got the tuning pegs right here, and they are for the very coarse tuning of your violin. So if you want to find roughly where the right intonation is, you use the big pegs. And then there are the adjusters, the fine tuners here at this end, and with those you fine tune so that you get precisely the right pitch. When you use the big pegs right here, they are sometimes a little bit sticky, so you have to always loosen the big pegs before you tighten them. And to find out which way is tightening, you can have a really good look at how the string is wound around the peg within the peg box. But we always loosen the pegs first before we tighten them, so that you can't suddenly go way too far up when you tune your violin, because you risk breaking the string if that happens. So always loosen the peg first before you tighten it. Now let me have that A again, and I will tune my A string. And here's my A. Now my A is a little bit too sharp, too high pitched by comparison to the tuning fork. I'll show you that again. So I'm going to see if I can loosen the string enough by using the fine tuner, and I'm going to turn it anti-clockwise to lower the string. Let me try that again. I've gone slightly too low now. I'm going to leave it there for now. Now the strings are tuned 5 notes apart. So if you can sing 5 notes, some people can, then you can go da 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 da, and that would indicate your D string. Some people might find that an easy way of tuning. There's my A. This string is also too high. Can you hear that? If you can't sing, or you don't want to sing, use your tuning app. And you see, I'm still using the fine tuner here. It is not as far out so that it requires me to use the big pegs. I try to avoid this if I possibly can. Now I can go ba da dee dee da. Now this one has actually gone a bit too flat. So let me give you an example of how you can use the big pegs. So what I'm trying to do now is tune the G string, which is this peg, and I'm going to loosen it first. And it's gone way too flat. Can you see? That's what I'm aiming for. Now, when you push the peg into the peg box, the peg is shaped conically, so it's wider on the outside than it would be on this side here. So if you push it into the peg box, it will hold better. So if you find that peg is slipping, you have tuned it in place, then you let go with your hand and it springs back. You need to push it in more firmly so that it will hold better. Oh, now I'm still way too sharp. It won't hold at the pitch that I want it at, so what I'm doing now is I'm just turning it up here slightly. And that is starting to sound much better. And now I want to tune the E string, so this is my A. Ba da 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 da. That's way too flat on the E string. The E string in particular, I'm going to be very, very cautious about. So I'm going to avoid using the big peg again, and I'm going to use the adjuster right here. And I'm going to check underneath. Occasionally you want to check underneath here that you're not screwing this screw too low so that it starts drilling into your belly of your violin here. But I see that I've got enough space underneath here, so I can go a little bit higher. Oh look, there it is already. So now all my strings are in tune, and I'll play them for you to help you tune along with me. So this is my E string. Next up is my A string. It's the second string from the right. The D string. And the G string. Now you sometimes hear violinists play their strings together so that you can hear the relative pitch, and that will sound like that. By all means, go ahead and try playing in double stops to hear the tuning of one string when you compare it with another. But for most of you in the early stages of violin playing, that will be too challenging. So please don't worry if you can't do that. I will teach you how to do that in a later lesson. So go ahead and check out my other tuning videos alongside this one, and you might watch this video a couple of days in a row and watch the other videos as well a couple of days in a row, and you will find that initially tuning the violin is really quite challenging, but as you progress you'll get better and better at it. Now while you're learning your tuning this week, please carry on with the open strings bowing exercises that we have been doing. So I'd like you also to go and practice lots and lots of bowing. And I very much look forward to seeing you in our next lesson, where we're going to develop this bowing technique a lot further. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.